And yeah, we argued and we fought, and I think that was very relatable. And I think that's what transcends age, gender, culture. That's why we have such a broad audience.
Yeah.
But in the end of it all, we built these beautiful motorcycles.
For 10 years. After building Orange County choppers into a TV empire, Paul Family War Jr. lost everything in a heartbreaking family war. His father demanded $1.5 million from his own son. His brother was forced to choose sides. But there did come that time where you and your dad kind of parted ways. I mean, he fired you. He did. At the time, it was really tough. But when I look back, it was the best thing. And when Paul became a father himself, he realized the true cost of their famous feud. I found a lot of unforgiveness and understanding towards my own father. Because of having my own son. Today, the man who built America's most famous motorcycles reveals the painful truth behind the cameras and why he hasn't shared a holiday meal with his father in 15 years. Most kids in the mid-80s were busy riding bikes, watching cartoons, or playing Nintendo, but Paul Teutul Jr. had a completely different idea of fun. At early life, just 12 years old, he was already working in the heat and noise of Orange County Iron Works. While other kids were at the beach, Paul was sweeping metal shavings off workshop floors and running tools to grown men, welding steel. Even before that, he used to visit his dad's job site and collect scrap pieces of metal like they were toys. He'd arrange them into little sculptures, dreaming up creations from what others saw as junk. That early exposure shaped everything. By the time he was 14, Paul was already welding with a calm precision that even the seasoned guys respected. He wasn't just picking up skills. He was learning how to think like a builder, but life in the shop wasn't all sparks and glory. His dad, Paul Sr., had a reputation for being intense, and he didn't go easy on his son. In fact, he was often harder his dating him than anyone else. Junior couldn't get away with small mistakes. If something went wrong, he'd get yelled at in front of everyone. Some thought it was unfair, but Senior believed it would make him stronger. As the years passed, their personalities clashed more and more. I also think that Under the Show did a lot of damage in with the family. Paul Sr. liked brute strength and old school methods. Paul Jr. had a more artistic eye and preferred clean lines and perfect detail. One summer, Jr. redesigned a railing to make it both stronger and better looking. His dad dismissed it at first, but a few days later, without saying a word, he approved it and used the design. That moment said it all. Vocational program deep down there was respect, but it came with a constant to go for. While most high schoolers were cramming for math tests, Paul Jr. took a different path. He joined a vocational program that let him spend half his school day learning mental work. He studied welding techniques, blueprints, and how to read the stress points in steel. One of his instructors said he had a rare gift, like he could see how metal wanted to move before even touching it. Junior spent hours beyond class practicing every weld, every cut, until it felt natural. He knew he didn't need a fancy degree to succeed. He just needed to master his craft. When Hare turned to his father's shop after Graduating, he wasn't the kid sweeping floors anymore. He was a skilled fabricator who spoke the language of the pros and backed it up with results. By 19, Paul Jr. was leading the railing division at Orange County Iron Works. Orange County Iron Works. That's not a small job. The department made up nearly half the company's income. Most would assume it was family favoritism, but the truth is Junior earned it. He expanded their design options and gave the shop a modern edge. His designs were so popular, customers were willing to pay more and wait longer just to get something crafted by him. He also had to manage a crew of workers much older than him. Some of them were veterans, some skeptical at first, but over time even the toughest ones admitted he knew what he was doing. So, what are you thinking? Are you thinking about using an Indian motive? He had taken a metal shop and turned it into something people talked about. That kind of respect doesn't come easy. Still, something was missing. After years of building stairs and railings, Junior felt boxed in. Orange County choppers wanted to build something that moved, something alive. That spark lit up when started secretly sketching motorcycles in an old notebook. After long days at work. Around that time, his dad got back into bikes, too. It started casual. Sr. asked Junior to help him build one. But when Paul Sr. saw what his son had drawn up, it shocked him. It wasn't just technical. It was art. That day, Sr. looked at his son and said, "Let's build bikes for real. Not as a hobby, as a business." It wasn't just about motorcycles. It was about fixing something much bigger, the years of distance between them. With about $175,000 scraped together from FIFA's Iron Works business, they officially launched Orange County Choppers, but it wasn't equal. Sr. kept 80%. Junior got 20%. It didn't matter yet. They had nothing but a dream and a cold basement full of tools. But within months, the bikes they built started getting noticed. Their first one, True Blue, took them 4 long months. Late nights, endless welding, and blue paint with white flames. It looked like it came from a big-time builder, not a frozen garage in upstate New York. When they brought it to Daytona in 1999, jaws dropped. They weren't nobodies anymore, but success didn't come easy. In 2000, they were building bikes in a tiny, freezing workshop. Tools broke. Suppliers wanted cash up front. Money ran out fast. Paul Jr. often worked 18-hour days, sleeping on a couch in the shop just to stay on dead. They fought constantly, big yelling matches, not for show, but for survival. Every bike they sold barely covered costs. Yet, they kept going. Not because they had to, but because they couldn't stop. Then, in 2002, a phone call came. A TV producer named Craig Polyagian saw a magazine feature on their bikes. He was scouting for a new reality show. When he called, Paul Sr. picked up and barked, "What the hell do you want?" The producer pitched a show about restoring junkyard bikes. Sr. shut it down instantly. Family friction. "We build them from scratch," he said. The deal almost died, but weeks later, the producer came back with a better idea. Film the real process. Arguments and all. Paul Jr. hated the idea. E9/11 Museum. That day when the cover came off the bike, people cried. Grown men, families, tourists, everyone was hit by the emotional weight of what that machine represented. Senior's old school craftsmanship. Anymore. They were talking about Junior's wild ideas. And that didn't Sybil with the man who built Orange County choppers from the ground up. Behind the scenes, jealousy took root. Senior's grip tightened. Every time Junior came in late or worked in his own way, it lit a fuse. And the longer the shop turned into a war zone burned, the harder it was to put out. By 2008, the shop had turned into a war zone. Fights between father and son weren't rare. They were routine. Most often, wanted freedom to create. Senior wanted obedience. It was a clash of worlds. Creative spirit versus hard-nosed discipline. The cameras on American Chopper caught some of it, but they missed the worst. When the lights went off, Senior got meaner. Not just with Junior. Jason, a designer, once smashed his own creation to bits after one of Senior's tirades. Everyone in the shop walked on eggshells. Even Mikey, the goofy, peacekeeping younger brother, couldn't escape the emotional wreckage. He looked broken. Like years of being shouted down had finally caught up to him. And then came the blow-up. September 2008. Junior was late again and Senior snapped. What should have been a warning turned into a screaming match in front of the entire crew. I want to be around the blow-up me father. But coming out of that unhealthy dynamic, I was able to grow spiritually, emotionally, and just one very level because I kind of came out from under my father and then I just became my own guy. When Junior tried to defend himself, saying he always got the job done, Senior refuge. To hear it, Junior fired back. He said OC would fall apart without him. That was it. Senior blew up and Junior, fed up beyond reason, hurled a chair across the office, then a trash can. He kicked down a door and stormed out. Senior chased after him and fired him on the spot. That chair-throwing moment didn't just break furniture. It shattered whatever was left of their working relationship. Years later, it would become a meme, but at the time, it was a disaster. After the firing, chaos followed. The crew was split. Some backed Junior, others stayed quiet, afraid of Senior's wrath. Customers started worrying. Would their bikes still carry the same magic now that the designer behind them was gone? Even the network panicked. TLC gave Junior the lawsuit warning, saying he had broken his contract by walking off the show. So, for a short time, he came back as a contractor, but it didn't last. By April 2009, he was done for good. Senior took Kid even further. He wanted Junior out of the business completely and moved to buy his 20% stake. When Junior wouldn't sell, Senior filed a lawsuit. The legal mess wasn't just about money. It was about power. Senior wanted total control back. He claimed he had the right to buy out Jr. shares $4,500. Then he added a lawsuit demanding another $1 million in damages. He even made his own company a co-defendant, putting Orange County choppers on both sides of the case. It was a twisted movement to force Jr. out completely. But Jr. wasn't backing down. The heart of the fight was one badly written contract clause that said Sr. could buy Jr.'s shares at fair market value, but didn't say how to decide what that meant. That vague wording would the court battle turn into a bomb in court. When the case hit the New York Supreme Court in 2010, the first ruling favored Sr. The judge said the buyout clause was legit and ordered an outside appraiser to set the value of the shares. It looked like Jr. was done. They sat in court together, not even looking at each other. But Jr. appealed, and in December, everything changed. The appellate court reversed the ruling. They said the clause was too vague to enforce. That meant Jr. kept his stake, 20% of OC in Sr. Combe. Force him out. It was a massive legal win and a personal victory. 2. The son everyone thought had been crushed was still standing, and his father couldn't get rid of him. You know that the relationship with my father is as one of where we're not fighting. That's what I'll say. I mean, are we hanging out? No, we're not really hanging out. So, things aren't bad, but they could be better. But that's okay. You know, sometimes these things take time. Still, Jr. couldn't build bikes right away. He had a 1-year non-compete clause. That meant no motorcycle building until 2010. So, he voted. He started doing product design, including a dog park and a makeover for Coleman's camping grill. He said it was one of the hardest times in his life, but he kept going. He and his wife turned a room in their house into an office, hired a young guy for computer work, and launched Paul Jr. Designs right across the street from OC. In April 2010, just as Paul Jr.'s